Hey there, it's Tom O. Welcome to a special edition of the Tom O Zone's Beyond the Blind. This is our Waterfowl public hearing recap edition because it's topical.
Because it's topical.
This is going to be a standalone episode. This is not going to be the full one with Brad spouting on about his extensive knowledge of ducks. Oh, I will say, first off, we do have a third guest. We got Yogi with us. He needs to be part of it. Plus, we need the third chair to be filled. And he's not going to get his own camera or microphone, but he'll be here for the whole thing. So the meeting took place on Monday, March 2nd, conveniently at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. For the retired guy, it was okay.
Yeah. I think everybody there was retired or has a schedule like they're retired, like me, or had to skip work. There were some folks there that we had not seen before. And, you know, it's appreciated that they came and made the effort to be part of the process. The public comments will also be taken from members of the public until March 12th.
March 12th.
And we'll put the email link down below for the IF&W secretary, right? Is that what she is? Becky Orff. She's the one who handles all the correspondence and transcripts and all that stuff. And
But don't hesitate. If you have a comment to make it. You go till the 12th. That'll close. That'll be the end of it. It was well attended, I got to say.
Well, especially compared to most recent years. I mean, the room was almost full to capacity because it's a very small room now.
And I think that's typical when you have topics of interest. You know, when it's status quo year after year after year, same bag limits, same season dates within a day, not much interest. But I think this zone line proposal change certainly brought the people out.
For those who don't know what a public hearing is like, you have to sign in, you have to be escorted upstairs in the IF&W building to the room where the meeting is being held, and then our leader of the bird group, our Maine wildlife biologist, Kelsey Sullivan, does his presentation, gives a lot of statistics about the population survey and all the things that the federal government uses to set forth the framework that the states can work within, and then set out what the proposal was for this year.
The Waterfowl Council met late fall, early spring, early winter, I should say. And they came up with a proposal, and included in that proposal was this zone line change and the results of the survey.
See, now here's the thing. When Kelsey did his presentation on the results of the survey, he neglected to show the entire survey, which I thought was kind of strange.
We had 20,221 email addresses. And those email addresses were taken from folks who had purchased Maine duck stamps in the last 3 years, so 22, 23, 24. Of those, 351 completed surveys were returned, but we needed to carve that again because we had to pull out some folks that, we pulled out the non-residents. From that. So we were just over 200. We were just north of 200 people that chose to participate in the survey.
Which is 1%?
I think we did that. At 20,000, 1%. So there was no argument from anybody, including IF&W, that was a very good survey. That wasn't a good sample survey. It wasn't a good sample.
Well, the thing is, he didn't include the full survey. So this is the overall survey of the North Zone season structure preference. Move it to the Route 2 boundary, finish with 28%, 2-week split, 31%, status quo, 41%. Nobody ever heard those numbers at the public hearing.
No.
Nobody ever saw a graph
look
like that at the public hearing.
No. He
went straight to narrowing it down to just Maine residents, and I'll show the difference.
A number that I kept hearing was 59% of the respondents were in favor of or supported modifying the North Zone structure in some way.
Yeah, okay, which way?
Which way? 28% supported moving the boundary line. 31% supported having 2 segments in the north zone with a 2-week split. 41% preferred to keep things status quo.
That's the blue lines on this graph.
Right.
So nobody saw those. Kelsey went right to the orange line. Well, you can't see it underneath my picture in a picture, but the two on the left tied at 31%. So orange being Maine residents only. So he took out from 350 respondents down to 200 respondents. And just to get, so it tied for last place, that you would move the north-south zone line.
When you ask somebody to submit a survey or participate in a survey and you ask them to choose one, you choose one.
Right.
They didn't ask me my second choice. They didn't ask my third choice. But yet they took first and second choices and combined them to defeat the other one.
Well, living in Maine, we know how ranked choice voting works now.
We do.
We've been through it a couple of times. Anyway.
Yes.
Well, in this case, they only asked us to choose one. They have no idea what anybody's second or third choice was. They're just trying to extrapolate that out.
You got to remember that was asked in April of 2025. Had that been asked April of this year, quite a difference in the responses.
Right. And we have been asked about the zone line change every 5 years, basically, right? Because that's how the federal system works. They allow states to make changes, such as adjusting their north-south zone lines or whatever zone lines that they want to do every 5 years. So we've been asked, coming up on 2020, coming up on 2025 now.
The current line, as we know it today, was adopted in 1995 for the 96-97 season. So it's been where it is now since 1996.
And we've been asked about changing it a number of times since then.
Every 5 years. In fairness, it is up for discussion.
Sure.
Windows open, want to talk about it. It never got much traction. This was the first year since I've been involved that it gained enough traction to make a proposal. We never proposed it before.
We've had surveys before, and to be honest, when I saw that we were getting the north-south zone adjustment survey again, I assumed it was the same line that it has been in previous surveys. But actually, it's quite drastically different this year.
Very different. Very different.
Yeah, previously it was basically moving WMD 16 into the south. And now this year, it's about moving the line, 50 miles north on 95 from Augusta up to Newport and then going straight west as much as you can on Route 2.
That's really. Right. That's right. Well, it didn't gain much traction that night, I can tell you that.
No. So then after Kelsey makes his proposal, then they open it up for a public discussion, and I believe it was 12 people there spoke in opposition to the proposal, and there was nobody there who spoke in favor of the proposal, at least at that meeting.
Well, there was a letter that was presented with over 20 signatures in opposition of any change. I think, there was no discussion of anything other than let's leave it status quo. No need for change.
So, yeah, the split option was not even
never
brought
discussed.
up, even though it was receiving more support, according to the survey.
Right.
Or tied for last,
if
you went with just Mainers.
Right.
But the thing is, if you're going to disregard the out-of-staters, you shouldn't have asked them, I guess, if you didn't want to know what they said. To then cut them out and go only with Mainers. Well, what if you focused in even further geographically and just asked the folks between Newport and Augusta and Bethel and Auburn, or that whole area that is now possibly going to move into the South Zone?
You've got a few more days. What's today's date now? We got a few more days.
Sure. Again, public comments are open until March 12th. And however you feel. If the survey came back that the majority of respondents wanted to move the south-north zone boundary, I'd been like, okay, if that's what the majority want. I mean, that's why you have surveys or
Right.
votes.
Right.
You know, the one with the most responses wins. I'd be like, oh, well, that kind of sucks because that's going to move me from the north zone to the south zone. Everybody from Newport to Augusta would be moved to the south zone. And, you know, that affects me and my hunting, even though I do hunt all over the state. And this is where I live. And I don't want to have to give up 2 weeks in October to maybe possibly hunt till Christmas Day, which, you know, would not have happened this year. And I'm not going to try and count on it happening in the future.
Don't give up those days you know you can hunt for days you think you're going to hunt, because you may not. This year, if they had put that into effect, if that had gone into effect for the 2026 season, you would have had a net hunting days in the new zone 31 days.
That's what we would have.
That's what you would have realized was 31 hunting days before the freeze.
And you're counting the freeze as?
I counted the freeze as the 22nd of November. Androscoggin River was frozen on the 22nd of unusable. And I gave you a benefit of a day here, a day there. But out of a 60-day season, that's 26% of your season is gone. Had you stayed status quo, you'd had a 47-day season before that freeze.
Right.
Quite a difference. It was overwhelming, I thought, and I think the department realized that quite quickly, that when asked anyone speak in favor of, I didn't see any hands come up. So,
and I get that there are differing opinions.
Absolutely.
I mean, there are people who live all over the state, and they want
Absolutely.
and they're looking out for their own interests, as
Absolutely.
you should. I mean, that you vote for yourself. That's how it works, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But be part of the process.
Right.
You know, part of the process.
And you know, traditionally majority rules, but
yeah, traditionally. So in doing all this background research, I came across the site. Some folks may have already found this, but we'll get a graph up here for help you out. It's called digitalmaine.com. And what they've done is an archive, electronic version archive of all hunting regulations since time began. These go back to the 50s. Select government documents from state agencies. Select view all. Scroll down to Inland Fisheries and Wildlife. When there, scroll down to Inland Fisheries and Wildlife law books. They'll be listed by date, newest to oldest. And up until, I think in the 71 season, we started with a little white pamphlet that everybody got and loved.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Which is now discontinued again.
Yeah. Now you got to download the PDF, keep it on your phone, and whatnot. Yeah.
They, prior to that, were also in the game law book that had all hunting regulations, which is what we're back to again now. But it's an interesting thing because it's interesting reading. You look at 30-day seasons and Sundays hunted, non-Sunday hunting for us was counted against us in our 30-day seasons.
Oh, right. Oh.
It was pretty tough days. 3 ducks, 2 ducks. It's just, if you're any kind of a historian and you do have an interest in the regulation process, it's quite a sight. It's easy to maneuver. Once you're in there, it's easy. And you just scroll down and they're all there. Funny to look at some of the old names, and it's, I find it interesting, you know. No matter the outcome, enjoy your season. You can always find some kind of hunting here in Maine.
Oh, that's true.
You know,
and count on being asked about it again in another 5 years.
In 2030.
Whether it passes or not.
Probably. I mean, the council is, to understand the process, the council will look at what's available to us. Because hunter satisfaction, additional opportunity is a big hot button issue.
Sure. Oh, God.
And I appreciate that.
Sure.
And I'm a guy, give me the days, give me everyone I can have. But what will happen is the outcome of this will be decided ultimately by Waterfowl Council. Kelsey will sit down, recap it, do a report, their recommendations. It'll go to the advisory council, which is appointed by the governor.
Okay, so this is advisory to the entire Inland Fisheries and Wildlife.
Everything that goes on Fish and Wildlife is the advisory council is responsible for rulemaking for that. They yay and nay. The commission is involved with that as well. What will happen is I believe, because this is just a withdrawal of a proposal. It's not amending the proposal. It's just a withdrawal. It'll just come off the table, and it won't hold up the process. It'll get voted on by the advisory council, be signed off, goes to the federal government. Here's our season proposal. Here's what we want to do. Yep, it's within our framework. Federal government will sign off. And I'd say in the next 30 days, you'll see an official result and a release of our seasons and dates. I think the dates, I don't think there was any discussion about dates.
No, or bag limits or anything like that. They did clarify, which I thought was interesting, that when it comes to sea ducks, and it says no more than 3 of any one species, that they are lumping all scoters together now as a species, although they're really the same genus, not the same species. Not the same species. A black-winged scoter is a different species from a white-winged scoter is a different species from a surf scoter, and that was a point of contention because it says species in the law book, and they really want to have no more than 3 scoters in general, counting towards your 4 sea ducks.
Total 4.
Right. 2 eiders.
2 of which may be, and now 3 of which may be.
Right. But with it being the gray area, and it says species, I thought you would be able to take 3 white wings and a surf and be fine. But apparently,
a lot of people did thought. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't clear.
No, it wasn't clear.
So now they've clarified it that.
Yeah, that's right.
So of your 4 sea ducks, 2 can be eiders, 3 can be longtails, 3 can be a scoter. Doesn't matter what kind. Only 3 scoters.
Right. You're still only allowed a number. That's the max. There's your number. So,
right.
Yeah, there was no other talk about any other change.
I don't think there was any other changes, really.
No.
I mean, wood ducks isn't going to change.
No, just,
mallards, pintails, none of that.
No. This was the only hot button issue. This was the one.
Right.
But, it's going to happen.
What's
Season's going to come.
Oh, well, yeah, it is going to happen. Yes, we are going to be hunting again, and it's going to be here before you know it. And I will not be ready. Everything will still be in a giant pile in my porta shed. I'll be pulling it out and trying to untangle decoy lines and whatnot before we go.
As we sit here, you goose hunters will be hunting in 180 days. You northern zone hunters will be 207. So,
and that's as
wish your life away.
That's as of March 4th. That's what we're recording this on.
March 4th.
And hopefully releasing as well, as this is our topical recap of the Maine Waterfowl regulations hearing. So get your public comments in, whatever you think. I mean, be part of the process. Let them know. The email address will be in the description below. Basically,
Becky.orff@maine.gov. They will take them by email. They need not be mailed. You can email her as well.
So there you go. Be a part of the process, and thanks for watching. I mean, this is what we do. This is what interests us. This is what we think is fun, thinking about duck hunting when we can't duck hunt. So if you also like that type of thing, hit subscribe, like it, whatever. That's what we're here for.
I would say before we close that topic, because I think publicly we should thank Kelsey Sullivan for 12 years of dedicated service to Maine Waterfowl.
Without a doubt.
Great guy. We've had few trying times. The sea duck change was not fun. Some of that was brought on us by the federal government where they took away our special sea duck season. But Kelsey did a great job. He's not leaving the department. He's taking a lateral position with shorebirds, wading birds, dealing with non-game birds. But I think Kelsey's should be commended for his work.
Without a doubt, yeah. He was all in. He was dedicated to the mission, which was doing what he could to help waterfowl.
He didn't sit behind a computer. I mean, it looks like he may have when he did all this survey, but he was out there in the field.
Oh, God, yeah.
Trapping, banding, nights, weekends. I mean, the man was into it. So
yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and we've seen him out in the field a bunch and hung out with him a bunch. And he's a great dude. He really is a great guy, and wish him much success and the best luck in his next venture.
Absolutely.
Quack.
He's a good boy.
All right, a good old boy.
He's a good boy.